Yeah. No. Whoa. It's getting 7. Oh, here I am live. All right. I am live. All right. Uh, yeah, I'm just going live. I was ranting a bit about leaving, and I just watched Final Call. Final Call has great, great broadcasts on YouTube. Final Calls. He's always spot on, and anyway, we got caught. I'm in this chat. Anyway, not chat, but what I was ranting about is I don't know if people can actually hear me. I don't know why they can't. I mean, I listen to my rebroadcast. It's not good, but my laptop is old, so it's old like me. And when I leave it, I'll probably leave my laptop behind, right? I mean, when when if I leave this, not if, I think it's when. It's going to become now an issue of when I leave. I mean, I'm leaving it all behind. I won't bring my laptop, and I hope I don't even bring my cell phone, right? And I don't know yet. Like leaving it all behind is so hard. I mean, when I got down here to the states and left Canada, I left everything up in Canada. You know, I come down here with nothing, the clothes on my back and a few bucks in my pocket. That's all I came down with, right? And I left everything up there. You know, I gave away a van, tools. That's all I had, a van and tools when it come down to it. But I just, hey, buddy, you need a van. And I met a guy. He was down on his luck. He needed a van and tool, right? So I gave it to him. Take it off, right? I just here you go. Anyway, now I'm contemplating doing it again. You know, now I'm not in as good a financial position as I was up in Canada, but the financial aspect of things is mute. I mean, if you could survive out in a tent, you know, which I did up in Canada, I did down here in the States, right? You, if you know how to live off the land, you know, which I don't. I'm not that expertise on hunting and trapping animals. I wish I was, but I'm not. You know, should have been, could have been, but I'm not. So that aspect's going to be tough to do. You know, uh, but yeah, I mean, you hear about guys just man, living off of getting shot down out of a plane and in enemy territory and eating, you know, insects. You hear about people in other countries just eating grass. to survive. I mean, you will survive. And if you're a believer in the Bible, God will send a raven with food for you to eat. I mean, if you're really seeking, if what you're doing is seeking God, He will provide, right? He will provide. And I know that. 100% God will provide. Right? And you might go missing a meal for, you know, 30, 40 days. And a person could do it. They could do it. Right? Jesus did it, proved it. Right? So it's just making the sacrifices. You know? So, and that's what it would be. It's just it would have to. It has to be under the right circumstances. I mean, you just can't just try and escape. If you're doing it for God, He will provide. God is the ultimate provider. You know? Here's how God's going to be the ultimate provider. When the mark of the beast comes, God is going to send manna down again. He is going to do this for those that are truly seeking Him. He's going to do it, right? He's already said He would do it. He already proved it. Mind you, that was a forced escape or whatever, not a forced escape, but he provided for them. If you believe that story, and I do. Hey, sorry, I'm one of the guys that believe that God can actually feed His people in the face of oppression and forced vaccination, forced uh, evacuation. He can do these things. He's God, right? He can feed you. I mean, it might cause a bit of discomfort, or you might not get your McDonald's hamburger, but God will provide you with the best food, right? I can't believe that they actually rejected manna from heaven, from God. Manna, angel. It said it was angels' food, and they rejected it. They wanted to go back to the leeks and garlics from Egypt. I mean, what? Come on, really? But in a lot of ways, you look at it, well, we've done that. I've done that. And, so, anyway, I mean, a lot of it's fear, a lot of it's fear of stepping out and trusting God in whatever you do, right? It's like, is God going to provide? Can God provide? And we don't test God, so we rely on the government or the Antichrist system to provide for us instead of allowing or showing how God can really provide for us in any circumstances. And if He doesn't, and if you die, so what? Then you're going to die in the faith of God. You know, it's and that's the way it is. But it's all built on fear and mistrust. And I know this. I know this firsthand because he's told me many times to go out into the wilderness and I will provide for you. And I didn't do it because I didn't believe or trust in how He could provide water for me, just water, because I was living in a desert almost. But, I limited God, and that's what the Bible says: is that they limited the Holy One of Israel. They limited him. You can't provide water for us or food. They were complaining about the food. I was complaining about the water. But same thing there. Limiting the holy God of Israel, the holy God of creation. Limiting him, you know, because we just can't believe his profound miracles. He can do whatever he wants, you know. So anyway, I uh, I got to make some choices here. You know, it's just I'm doing my own will where I'm at right now. Right? So I got to move myself to get into His will, and that will probably require going back into a tent. You know, where get unplugged from everything, get unplugged from the system, and get plugged back into God. Is really what it boils down to. And it's going to be a tough decision. It really is. But I mean, it's been on my mind for so long. It's been on my mind for, I don't know how long. I mean, I've done it a few times, but lately it's been a couple years now since I moved into this place where I'm at now. And it's just, it's something about being in a tent. I don't know what it is, you know? It's something about being in a tent where, you know, you're under the influence of the elements. It's like the one time I was in Florida living in a tent, Ocala National Forest, and a hurricane went through, and my the hurricane was lifting my tent up. Right, it was a big tent, not a big tent, and I went from one end of the tent to the other, holding the poles down, right? Because I could feel it lifting up, right? That the hurricane was right over my tent. It wanted to suck it up, and I'm going, God, that's like, you know, move this wind, this hurricane away, right? Just get it out, right? And it did. He moved it, right? He moved it away because it was lifting my whole tent up, right? And it's like, whoa. I mean, that was I read in the National Choir one time about this was up in Canada where whether you want to believe the National Enquirer or not, but it was true. I looked it up. So this guy had a house on one of the Great Lakes, and I think it was a hurricane. I'm not sure what it was. Anyway, it blew, and he lived like a mile away from the Great Lake, from I think Lake Superior. Anyway, it came and lifted his whole house out of the foundations, lifted it up, brought it back to the Great Lakes, and slammed his whole house into the ocean or into the Great Lake. And his whole family, he had a wife and I think 3 or 4 kids, right? They all died, right? And he survived, right? To live and tell the story. Like, but when he, like, 1 minute he's in his house, and next minute he's swimming under, you know 10, 15, 20 feet of water, getting hit by all his appliances and couches and everything. Right? It's like he surfaced. You couldn't believe it. He surfaced, right? Because and he lived to tell the story, and I can relate kind of in a bit about that when I was canoeing one time and I went over a waterfall uh, and I live to tell about that. You know, once you hit water in a situation like that, it's like you are totally you're disoriented, and the first thing you're going is which way is up. Which way is up so I can breathe. I can get some air into my lungs. You know, you don't know, and you have to stay calm for a minute, and your body will start to float up. But in the panic of the situation, it's like, but you have to stay calm for a minute and let your body float up, and then you go. Then you just race for air, and that's what happened to me, right? But you know, but anyway, I'll end it there. I'll end it here. Oh, I gotta well, end that stream here. Forget what I was talking about. Yeah.